So, I have a quick story for you. The other day, I was in the kitchen with my mom and my sister, and my sister was opening the oven door at the same time that my mom was opening the refrigerator door. And for whatever reason, the way that our kitchen is set up, if you open both at the same time, they will collide. It's really stupid. But because they were opening them simultaneously, they smacked together, and the oven door left a pretty fat dent in the refrigerator. And so obviously my mom was upset. It is pretty noticeable. It's not very sightly. And, they kind of like, my sister didn't storm off, but she was kind of like in a bad mood, I think, for being yelled at. And I was just like silently cutting my vegetables, so I wasn't involved, but I saw the whole thing. And so later, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about my mom's reaction and all that, and what we can learn from it. And I do understand her perspective because it is a nice refrigerator. It's probably not that easy to replace it. And, I can get why she was upset. But at the same time, I was thinking about when we buy expensive things like nice cars, nice clothing, nice kitchen appliances, or whatever, it's almost inviting disappointment because when they inevitably get scratched or damaged, your magnitude of anger is probably going to be higher, right? Like if you have a normal car, nothing really special about it, you wouldn't bat an eye if you saw it on the road, and it gets scratched or slightly bumped by someone else's car, right? That happens sometimes. Yeah, it sucks, but like your car isn't that special to begin with. So like what's there really to be upset about, Like I understand wanting a nice spotless vehicle and like yeah, it sucks when that happens. But if you had like a Ferrari or an Aston Martin or some extremely expensive vehicle and that gets damaged, then it's like a whole nother level of being angry. And rightfully so. I can understand why you would be upset. But it's like having your cake and wanting to eat it too kind of situation where, yeah, you can have nice things, but I almost think that you shouldn't be surprised when bad things happen and you get upset about it because it is so nice. Because if you had a normal car and it gets scratched, it's pretty easy to shrug it off, right? And like if I bought, maybe a $500 jacket and I spilled coffee on it, then like that's a much worse thing to happen than if I had like a $50 jacket. So I almost deliberately choose to not involve myself in that culture. Not that I'm out here buying Ferraris, but you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to go out there buying the most expensive thing or the nicest things because I know that things happen, things break, things get damaged, and I'm almost insulating myself from the potential disappointment of bad things happening because if my item in question isn't, amazingly nice, then it's like, whatever. Like my sister, on the back of her bumper, there's a pretty big dent. I think someone had hit her car and drove away, and, that sucks, right? It sucks when that happens. But her car is like nothing special, so it's like, okay, whatever. I mean, the car still works. The item still works because I do understand that if your car got, sideswiped by a semi truck or got completely destroyed and totaled and you need a brand new car, then yeah, that sucks. And I don't want anyone to think that you shouldn't be upset about that. But I'm just proposing an idea that maybe you shouldn't go out there buying the nicest of things because things are going to happen. Life has a funny way of just shitting on your doorstep, and you have to find ways to lessen the impact of that. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to not be so concerned about the nicest, most pristine, spotless way to live your life. Like my kitchen, it's pretty clean, but it's not like amazingly clean. And if I spilled coffee on the countertop, then I just clean it up. It's not a big deal. But there's probably clean freaks out there that if that happened to them, to their spotless marble countertops, then they would have an aneurysm. And it's like, dude, don't be so fragile minded that the little things bother you. You have to find a way to roll with the punches. And, if something happens, just shrug it off and keep going. So just, consider that. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy expensive things. If that's your taste, absolutely go for it. I'm just saying don't be so upset if the bad things happen to it and your Ferrari gets banged up or something. It's going to happen. So maybe having the normal sweatpants or the normal clothing, maybe that's a more peaceful way to live. And yeah, I know I am in my bathtub. It's surprisingly comfortable, I'm not going to lie, but thought I should mix up the scenery a bit. But anyways, I'll catch you later.